So I'm Bogart the Explorer from the Philippines. I might speak this way, but it's just a character because I usually speak this way when I'm back in country. So yeah, it's kind of a running joke that we
Turn it
have.
on and off, huh?
Yeah. So in the Philippines, you do have you do know that you have a lot of Filipino fans coming from background and everything. So yeah, a lot of Filipinos, the Philippines love you so much. In fact, we Filipinos love you so much that they have like a running thing that they do where they have your photo, the old bill. It's a bill, a 20 peso bill.
Oh yeah.
It kind of looks like you. They made it look like you.
That's funny.
So yeah, casting the role of Drax the Destroyer was a tough one for the filmmakers, and they did a lot of screen tests and everything for it. Well, how was the whole audition experience for you?
It was stressful.
It was.
Yeah, it was weird because the first time in, my agent warned me that it was a real long shot, and I didn't have high hopes for getting this role. And so the first time in, I was nervous about it, but I wasn't as stressed as I was coming in. When they asked me to come back and read for the director, then I was like, oh man, then it started getting real, and I started thinking maybe I got a shot at it. And just the farther the process went along, just the more and more I wanted it, the more I became kind of emotionally invested in it. And but also, the flip side of that is, if you don't get it, then the heartbreak is 10 times worse because then you've already, you've got your heart set on it.
What did you feel when you got the role? I mean, after you went through a very tough process of.
This was the coolest thing because I called James, to thank him personally. And I was bawling. I was so elated and emotional. And he said, "You have no idea what I've gone through." And he goes, "Yeah, no, actually, I do," because he went through a lengthy process. I didn't even think about it, but he went through a lengthy process as well. And he wanted this, he wanted to direct Guardians of the Galaxy, so he went through a lot of the stress, himself, trying to get this job. So he could totally relate.
Have you heard of Drax the Destroyer before this?
No, I had never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's really cool the way that you see the trailers and they're already starting to introduce the characters, and you kind of get a taste of who they are. And I think after people see the films, they're really going to be familiar with them, and they're not only the hardcore comic fans they know who Guardians of the Galaxy are. They're well familiar with them, but I think your average fan. Once they actually see the film, they're going to become really emotionally invested, and they're going to go back and want to read the comics and see where the origins of Guardians started and how many members there have been of Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's kind of exciting.
So most people are getting introduced to the character because of the trailers, like you said. Yeah. But this is also the first time that Drax the Destroyer was actually personified by someone. And so how do you want people to remember Drax the Destroyer? How do people want to remember your character, being you the first person to ever play it?
Oh, the way I try to always describe him is, I think most people right off the bat they realize and they're going to assume that Drax is a fierce warrior, which he is, without a doubt. But I always tell people that because they always say that Drax he's driven by rage, he's driven by revenge, but really I think he's driven by a heartbreak, the loss of his family. So I think I always try to describe him as that first, as a father and a husband who's really just kind of heartbroken over the loss of his family.
Yeah, but does he ever smile though in the movie? I think I saw one clip when we were watching the 17-minute.
Yeah, Drax. It's so funny because I think that somewhere along the line or along the film, Drax kind of. Develops kind of a man crush on Star-Lord. And I think it's just because he's so amused by him. He thinks everything that he does is the greatest thing. It's just he thinks he's funny, and so there's a lot of laughs. Drax has a sense of humor. It's just an odd sense of humor.
An odd sense of humor. Wow. Okay. Do you think Drax has Filipino qualities in him as well?
Well, he definitely is. Drax is Filipino.
Drax is Filipino. Why do you say that?
What I thought was obvious when I saw that he uses knives. He's obviously a Kali guru.
Yeah, that's true. He's more like a.
That's my rationalization for the knives, and he's got to be Filipino, right?
That's true. We use a lot of handheld weapons, mostly melee.
Right.
But how do you see Drax in yourself, and how do you see yourself in Drax as well? Is there a relation between the two?
There is somewhat. I mean, I think. A lot of the emotion that I tried to bring into Drax, to bring him to life it comes from my own, history in my past and my loss and, my love for, people in my life.
What was the best part of filming, you feel? Like the memories that you can bring forward for the rest of your life?
I think the best part was just building, the relationships and, with other cast members, with directors, but with crew members and with, my makeup team and my driver and the people that, I kind of hope will be, friends for the rest of my life. You don't intentionally do it, but you just lose touch with people. But I've managed to stay in touch with a lot of people, from the cast, from the crew, James.
So new things for you as well.
Yeah.
How's this world different, the movie industry, different from the wrestling history?
It couldn't be any different, I guess it's all entertainment at the end of the day, but, I always tell people really the only similarity between wrestling and filming is that there's a camera pointed at you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the similarities end,
But is this more exhausting than wrestling?
I would say that filming, your days are much longer. Because sometimes you could just, it just seems like never ending. You're just on the set so long. But with wrestling, it's more of a constant grind where you just travel so much and you do a show and you're out of there, you're on to the next town. So it's just a different kind of grind. I love wrestling because I love that immediate feedback of the live audience, Yeah. But it's very different, but they're both rewarding. Equally.
Wow. Speaking of wrestling though, did you get to do your signature wrestling moves in this movie?
No, we didn't.
No Batista on there, whatever.
No.
Oh,
maybe, maybe someday, I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe. Oh, by the way, we have this gift for you from the Philippines. It's called a barrel man. And look, it's a traditional Philippine souvenir. Lift it up. No, the barrel. No, it's a traditional souvenir.
Oh man, we're here with Disney.
Hooked on a feeling, I'm high on believing that you're